Good morning, Flosstube. It is March 15th, Sunday, and I am 1 month away from my last video. I think I'm going to need to be realistic and say that I will film once a month. That is just all I can do, I guess. But I've had you in my mind and on my heart. It has been too long. I know that we are all heavy-hearted and focused on all the health crisis news. And in some ways it feels frivolous to come on here and talk about my stitching. But in another way, I think it is helpful for us to see what we are all doing and to enjoy this craft that is, for all of us, a stress reliever, a meditative hobby that helps us through the rough times. So I hope you don't mind my coming today to visit, and I hope it will be helpful to you, or at least give you something to think about that is something you enjoy. I also want to say that this will be a bit rambling for probably a lot of reasons. I have a desk full of things I want to show you, and I hope it won't go too long, but so much to talk about and show. My husband and I have decided that this year is going to go down in our history as one of our most difficult. You all know that I lost my mother back in October, and just 3 weeks ago, we lost my husband's father. So 2 parents in 6 months, too much to process. So we are working toward a daily thankfulness and daily spiritual renewal as we work through the grief and the shock of all that has happened. But I know that you all have understanding of how this feels and what this means. And I don't tell you for sympathy, I just tell you to encourage you that we work through these things together and with the support of our dear friends and family. And I want to thank you for your support in the past and let you know that I want to be there for you when you have times of stress, because I have felt your love and concern. My husband is doing well. He is relieved that his father is with the Lord and that he is not going to have to worry about him in light of the current crisis that is going on. He was 90, and we had celebrated his 90th birthday with him this summer. What a joy that was. So there's that, and we both do have to go to work tomorrow. Our organizations are not shut down. Of course, my husband is in healthcare, so he will be back to it in the morning, but we are living in faith and hope with many prayers. Let's talk about stitching. Let's be lighthearted and enjoy what we love. So because our daughter is having a baby this summer, happy news. Actually, she's not just having one baby, she's having twins, twin girls. There is such joy in our hearts about that. I am making another baby blanket, and my precious youngest daughter is going to make the other baby blanket, so we'll have 2 to give. You remember that I had enjoyed this easy crochet stitch called Grit Stitch when I made the Afghan for our granddaughter who was born last May. So I am beginning to work on that. This is a beautiful yarn from Hobby Lobby, and I, of course, did not bring the paper to show you the name. I want to say the company is Yarn Bee, B-E-E, and there is a baby bee in the collection. It is so, so soft, And this is a slightly variegated baby pink, barely variegated. They have many other color choices. My younger daughter, the youngest who's making the other blanket, is doing hers in a variegated lavender. So some crochet is happening, and hopefully that will be ready for the baby shower, or at least for me to send to the sweet daughter. And of course I can also take it when those babies come. Then I have been focused on some try to finish what you can projects, because as you know, I have more whips than I can count. And so my commitment to myself is to put in at least 15 minutes in the mornings before work, if possible, on finishing this beautiful sampler, which was my Moira Blackburn. And it is a Bothy threads kit. If you've watched me before, you've seen quite a lot of this sampler. But if you'll look at the bottom where you see the border, that is how the border needs to look on the whole sampler. So my goal is to finish the border. Right now I'm working up the top, and then I will need to fill in my name and the year. I had a small sad thought when I realized, looking over this, that I have put the pot of flowers on the gentleman's side too close to the house. If you look at the lady's flowers, she has a space there between the flowers and the house. The gentleman's flowers touch the house, and that's going to bother me. So I am afraid I'm going to have to rip out the pot and the flowers on the gentleman's side and redo that. But this is so close to a finish that I'm committing those minutes early in the morning, even if all I do, which I did this morning, is a few of the little green motifs, or if I fill in with some of the orange or pink or the lighter green. I think it will come fairly quickly. But I've told you before how happy this makes me. The colors, those sheep, and then the beautiful birds and stag at the top. It's just been a fun design. So that one is a focus for a finish as soon as I can do that. And you remember this was done with the called for threads that came in the kit, but also on a cheaper linen from Hobby Lobby. But as I've been working on this, I think it was a perfect choice because this is more rustic sampler, so I'm very happy with that thread. Excuse me, that linen, gracious. This was what the kit looked like. Purchased, all ready to go, country cottage. I would do another Bothy threads, I think. Then, what next? I know what I'll talk about. My youngest son and his girlfriend love Pusheen the fat cat. And so we have purchased Pusheen for him, but he purchased the little cross-stitch kit for me to make for him. And in this darling little box were 3 designs, 3 different Pusheens, and it was packaged so beautifully. 3 tiny pieces of Ada. I've used 1, so I still have 2 left. And then the tiniest little hoop you ever want to see. Let me pull that out. Oh, it's all tangled here. What a mess. This traveled with me this week. Okay, look at that little hoop. Have you ever? Oh, that's just precious. And then the floss in the colors that you would need, the beautiful pink, and then a gray and a brown. So those are my Pusheen colors. And this week I was able to finish the first Pusheen. I want to show you the little book. So this was my pattern book. And not only, look at Pusheen with her supplies. Is that precious? Not only does it give you 3 graphs, and I will only let you quickly see how it's set up, but it also gives you very detailed instructions about how to cross stitch. So if you bought this kit, it talks about supplies and tells you what you need. It talks about fabric, needles, thread, hoop, scissors, and then let's get stitching. I mean, this would be a perfect starter pack for someone who had never stitched before. So here is the first completed Pusheen. Is she not the cutest? So once all three are finished, I will decide if I'm going to frame them separately in tiny little frames for him, or if I'm going to sew them into a bell pull type hanging. I have no idea, but this took about a week or half a week, I guess. Just the fun, quick, small, loving Pusheen. And so happy that he chose to bring that in for me to make for him, and I'm going to be working on the other two, probably at work, because that's a perfect lunchtime stitch. So Pusheen Crossstitch, it is available at Barnes & Noble. It's also available at Amazon, but he got it in a little store in the mall, and I'm so embarrassed I've forgotten what the name of the store was. But if you need this and you decide you want to stitch Pusheen for someone, be sure to check Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Okay, we are also committed this week, if all goes well, to get back to Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor, Karen Kluba. We are in a stitch along, Donna and I, and really want to finish this. And I do think we will get back to it this week. It is, let me see the best way to show you. It is probably a little over halfway finished. I'm so glad I found these cute little clothespins for this. Let's see if this helps. Oh yes, that's going to help a lot. So this is what I have so far. And I hope that is visible to you. So the big motif on the right is the one I'm working on. It's huge. That is probably not even a fourth of the motif. And I'm hoping I can get close enough for you to fall in love with these colors of this Valdani thread. It is a joy to work with. I did begin, let me look. I did begin, oh, here it is. Goodness, I couldn't see that. The beginning of a smaller motif under this basket, so that if I could get that done, I could go back to my big one, which was beginning to discourage me. This is also the called for linen. I want to say it's called Truffle, but I don't have that in front of me. It's in a lot of my videos. If you need that information, let me know. But it is what is called for in that beautiful piece. Okay, then I have the piece that you all helped me decide as I was talking to you last video to stitch in memory of my dear mother because she loved angels. And this is by Teresa Kogut, and it is called Pray. How appropriate is that for these times? Now, I've seen this model stitched at my local needlework shop, so I know that it will turn out beautifully. I went back and purchased the linen that the model had been stitched on, and so I want to show you my progress, but I need to warn you that it has a funny look about it because I think the colors are going to show up better when they are all together. Right now, it's a little weird looking. But I love this linen. It's been a delight to work with, and this has been some good stitching. I've had time this week, and I was able to do big blocks of color, but I hope you can see something of the design. So if you look carefully, here is her mouth, and this is her neck. then you're going to see her hair coming here and here. There is this little gold accent, almost like the top of a picture frame. There will be some gold accent over here. And I did this whole block of color in hand because I needed some mindless quick stitching. So it's a little weird the way I've chosen to work it, but I needed that block of green to get done when I couldn't follow the pattern. But I cannot wait to see her complete, to see how all these colors work together. This is a 32 count linen. So she will be probably this big and then over to about right here. Not huge. And almost square. I believe she is square. Almost 6.5 by 6.25 inches. So this will be my mother's angel. And I've really enjoyed working on her. And I am focusing also on a finish on her. But I'm going to throw Rosewood Manor back in there because we've missed it. All right. Now let me see. Do I have any other? I believe that is all. Oh no. I forgot all about my bunnies. So everyone's doing beautiful spring stitching, and I knew that I had stashed this Riolis kit. It's called Funny Bunnies, I believe. Funny Rabbits. And I said, okay, we have to pull this out. And then Romantic Tangles, a Flosstuber, was doing a Riolis Sal. And I said, well, that's all I need. I'm going to jump in. This stitch is a little bit addicting, people. So I'm using everything in the kit, all the Riolis floss and the Ada fabric that was provided. And I have part of a bunny already. I have posted this a little bit on Instagram. Would you look at that bunny face? Again, it's hard to tell what's all around him, but there will be some green and then some white flowers. This is the part of this little bunny who's up above this bunny. But oh, this has been fun. And as always, Ada is a good break on the eyes. Hopefully you can see how Riolis uses blended threads and also still larger stretches of color, but a little bit of confetti to make just that beautiful color shading. Let me show you the bunny photograph again so you can see there. Put this down. So this is the bunny I'm working on. And the gray you saw is the beginning of this bunny's nose. And then the green will be these clover flowers and leaves. So there will be 4 rabbits all together. But I'm so glad Romantic Tangle decided to do a Riolis stitch along. I had dropped the ball on the hedgehog stitch along, and that kit is still upstairs. I need to revisit it, but when the bunnies are finished, I'm going to pull those hedgehogs back out. In fact, those could probably be displayed together. That would be so much fun. Okay, now we have a little bit of stash, and we have a new tool to share, and then I will close up for the day and wish you all the best and hope to be back with more progress. I did not bring in my Christmas ornament Sal Dimensions, what is it called? Christmas Village. I have the first ornament really close to being finished except for the back stitching. I must bring that to show you next video. And I want to get that finished so I can at least start another one. But the stash I have accumulated is because we went to the Stitch Niche to look for something that I could use for our giveaway, because I have not forgotten about our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I just think I'm going to wait another couple of weeks because of all that's going on in the world. But I selected this beautiful hands-on design kit to be part of my giveaway. There will be another kit included, which I will talk about next time. But this is a pin cushion. It's called House on a Hill. Now, you know I could not resist sharing with my subscribers a pink house. And this even includes the beautiful fabric, which will be attached somehow across the middle. It looks like it is cross-stitched on there. How delightful is that? Came the Spring is the name of it. Kathy Haberman. So this will be part of my giveaway for 1,000 subscribers, and hopefully we can talk about that in the next few weeks. And then the shop was having a 20% off, maybe 25% off, because she was getting ready to be going to market. It was before market. And you know I have been coveting Hands Across the Sea. Well, this came home. Sarah, is it Barton? Sarah Borton, 1815. But I think of all the ones she had in stock that were on the 25% off sale, this one called for 2 or 3 reasons. I love that border all around the edge, as well as the one in the middle of the design. And then the sweet little house with the well and the people who are doing their chores. And then, of course, the sweet verse. So this is not coming out of this envelope until a lot of things are finished. But I am thrilled to be an owner of a Hands Across the Sea. I should go on and read you the verse. You may not want to take the time to look it up on Hands Across the Sea. Jesus, permit thy gracious name. Oh my goodness, I can't read this. To, what does that say? Land? Jesus, permit thy gracious name. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I don't know what that says. To land, I guess, as the first efforts of an infant hand, and while her fingers on the canvas move, engage her tender thoughts to seek thy love. With thy dear children let her have a part, and write thy name itself upon her heart. I am so embarrassed that I don't know what that letter is. Name to stand? I'm going to have to do some research on that. That's so embarrassing. But if you will look at the stitches in the middle, this will be me learning some new embroidery stitches. And then this, of course, will be stitched 1/1. I also absolutely love the colors on this one. Now, I will definitely use the DMC conversions, no question about that. But fun stash, even if I can't read the whole verse. And then we took a very short trip after all that had been going on, and it was my spring break. And so we decided to do a last-minute trip down to New Orleans, literally almost the week before, made the plans to go. And so my husband and I were able to spend 5 quiet days down there. We explored the French Quarter. We spent a lot of time in our very beautiful room at the hotel, and we found a needlework shop, of course. How could you not? And it is called the Quarter Shop on Charter Street, 629 Charter Street. Looks like Chartres from France, but they do call it Charter down there. And I had to bring it home the way they wrapped it before I opened it with you to show you my new chart. Look how adorable. It's wrapped in lavender tissue, and then it has the little tissue hearts that she threw in like confetti. But this chart, and I'm going to pop into it now, is another one of the Delta Needlecraft charts. You know I have stitched one of those, and I have another one in my whip pile. And of course I can't get the ribbon off. Guys, you're just going to have to excuse my fumbling today. I am not doing well. I would love to get this out of here for you. Goodness gracious. Okay, we're going to get it. So this one is the design of Jackson Square in New Orleans. And my husband has graciously ordered its companion. We found it on eBay, which is the streetcar, whichever streetcar. But this is the graph of Jackson Square. You see St. Louis Cathedral. You see the statue of General Andrew Jackson. And then the beautiful Jackson Square there where you see the pink flowers. These are the ones that work up fairly quickly. I will need to duplicate the Ada that I used on those other two. They had come as a kit. This did not. It is just the graph. But I cannot wait to have time to add this to my rotation. And then we will have the streetcar. So we will have 4 historic Southern patterns done to group in our living area in our home. So excited about that. Now the last thing I'll show you is the tool that I purchased before we left because I knew I would want to be stitching in hand, excuse me, not in hand, two-handed while I was there, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on another tool. So we priced this, and for, I believe, $29.99, we ordered this Morgan Lapstand. So you have a 7-inch and a 9-inch hoop, which you can use separately, but you also put it together like this. I'm missing one leg because I took it out. It's easier to get your hand up under. So you are stitching two-handed. It sits in your lap. I even propped it on an arm of a chair. And these are amazing hoops. They get super tight because you can see it actually has the nut and the screw. It's easier to turn. But if you want to take just the small one or the large one, you can. But this just pulls apart super easy. So when you're packing, you have this hoop. Here are your legs, so they pop off and they go very flat in your tote bag or your backpack. And here's the big hoop. So when they're packed, here you are. And look how flat. That goes in just about any bag. And you'll have the 3 little legs right in the middle. So no space whatsoever required. It works beautifully, and I will be using it at home as well. This is still my favorite lap stand, I think, of all time. I guess just because it's so stable and so easy to use. But it is difficult to tighten to get good tension. So the trade-off would be then that this one is a little less, well, pleasant in the hand, I guess, because it's plastic, but it tightens so much better. So I recommend both. And this, I believe, we got from Amazon, but it is available on other sites. If you just search multi-purpose lap stand or Morgan lap stand, it is made in the United States. And there's some really good instructions if you need them, but very user-friendly. I am not good at putting things together, and it was literally put the legs in and you're good to go. I went on so long. I ask you to forgive me. I hope you made it this far. Also forgive my bumbling and awkwardness, but I needed to get back to say hello, show you what I've been doing, and reassure you that we are all in this together. Let your stitching soothe you and encourage you, and let me know if there are any needs or prayer requests from your end wherever you are in the world. And we will be back together to visit. I'm way behind on your videos. I need to get with that program. But feel the love I'm sending and let me hear from you. If you're new and you have not subscribed, know that I'm usually a lot better organized, and I hope to be less bumbling in the future, but come back, join me again, and if you feel like it, subscribe, comment. Let's be a community here, as this community definitely is for each other. Love from Texas. See you soon. Bye.